What does it mean to be a woman living in South Africa right now? Slindelo Masikane is at the Union Buildings today. Let's cross to her now. Slindelo, you've been on the streets talking to women. What are you hearing from women living in South Africa about the challenges they face and what they would like to hear from the president when he speaks at 12 o'clock?
Well, certainly, of course, today we're looking at some of the issues that women in this century are now facing in terms of the struggle for economic emancipation, for safety and security. Just speaking to some of the women here at the Union Buildings, one in particular, an informal trader, she was talking about how the past year has just been so difficult. She's the breadwinner in her family, a single mother, and she's surviving on trading here at the Union Buildings. But because of lockdown regulations and restrictions on travel, it's been very difficult for her to make that ends meet, because she really survives on some of that income that comes from the tourism that is attracted by the Union Buildings. And she was saying to government that informal traders, women in particular like herself, need some sort of relief when it comes to some of the measures that are in place. But we are here inside the Union Buildings. You can see the very beautiful view from inside the buildings, and this is the particular spot where the women marched to. They surrounded this particular area. Over 20,000 women who came to protest against the past laws, and you can see too my left, the steps leading up to the east and west wings. The steps have been inscribed with that particular petition that was handed over to the former Prime Minister Strydom back in 1956. And if I just read from the second set of steps, it says, "We shall not rest until all the past laws and all forms of permits restricting our freedom have been abolished. We shall not rest until we have won for our children their fundamental rights of freedom, justice and security." But to just give us more context, you can see also to my right that we do have the ANC Women's League that will be commemorating this particular day. They have organized an event where we are expecting one of the stalwarts, Ms. Sophie de Bruyn, to also make her way here. And today we will be seeing women once more coming together to really show the support for the emancipation of women. We know that there's still a number of issues that we still have in terms of the issues that I just read out, in terms of freedom, in terms of justice, in terms of security as well. We know that we are faced with the scourge of gender-based violence in the country, and of course I'm pretty sure those are just some of the issues that will be touched on at this particular event.
You know, I was sitting yesterday and thinking about the enormity of what these women did in 1956, getting together 20,000 women fighting against an apartheid state that was very much trying to prevent that from happening in any way they could. They still managed, in a time when there wasn't social media and all of that, they still managed to get 20,000 women together to march to the Union Buildings. And sometimes I think we forget the enormity of what that was like in 1956.
Certainly so. I mean, what those women did was something really we all can be in awe of. For them to come together despite the safety and security concerns of the day, despite possibly being jailed for that particular march, they still went ahead to fight for those rights. And so we know that in terms of the struggles of women today, we know that women are still facing a lot of challenges that still need to be addressed by government. But I want to at least try and get one of the representatives here from the ANC Women's League, Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane. Thank you so much for your time, just to give us a sense of what we can expect from the program today. But of course, I was speaking to my colleagues saying that we're still finding women still having to fight for safety, for security and for economic emancipation in 2021.
We here at the Union Buildings, led by the Gauteng ANC Women's League, together with their various regional executive committees of the ANC Women's League. And the purpose is to relive what happened here. As you can see also over the stairs, every step has got what was the declaration of the South African women at that time. So what is about to happen here is to again say the struggle continues. In as much as we're saying Malibongwe Gamalama Kuskas, it's about the unity of women. It's not about the triumph against our struggles. Our struggle continues, but what is of importance, it's unity, hegemony, and of importance to deal with the triple challenges that includes also femicide. Inequality, poverty, and unemployment, including gender-based violence and femicide, as well as dealing with the stereotypes that exist in our society that assume that women cannot lead, that women cannot assume responsibility going forward, that assumes that women cannot be mayors of the city of Tshwane, of the city of Johannesburg, of Buffalo City, anywhere else, but believe that women can only be part of a collective. What we are reaffirming is that our struggle is not just to be part of a collective, as what Mam Charlotte Maxeke once said in 1902, that the objective must also include the emancipation of women. The meetings, the gatherings must also include women, so that then the ultimate outcomes of those meetings ensures that women themselves are taken not as participants, but also as those that are responsible to take charge of the responsibilities emanating from a meeting, from a policy, from a piece of legislation, from any program. It is also our responsibility as women to not actually look down upon one another, but to soldier on as a team, as a collective.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sweetheart.
All right, that is Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane, and as she's rightly pointed out, the struggle does continue.
Slindelo, thank you so much for that. Slindelo Masikane is at the Union Buildings as we build up to the President's address on Women's Day, which you can watch here from 12 o'clock.